said that before, so I'm trying to meet the requirements. So when I say the word diet, most people cringe, right? Not many good feelings are coming out when you hear the word diet. People think of celery, water cleanses, fasting, restrictive diets that actually don't last and don't create long-lasting habits. They often leave you feeling frustrated, confused, and you've lost some money in the process. And I've watched a lot of people in my life go on diets, go off, go on diets, go off. It's kind of like a yo-yo process. It looks like a roller coaster. It looks exhausting. So how many people in here have ever been on a diet or been in that experience where they've tried something new for maybe a couple days or maybe a month with regards to food? Have you ever had a diet or known someone that has and watched them go through the emotional toilet it is? Okay. So actually the word diet has its roots in Greek and Latin origin, and it really means way of living. And that's the way I approach it as a nutritionist. And the sheet you have in front of you is something that we're going to walk through. And so when we talk about dieting, why most diets traditionally fail, I believe they fail for 3 reasons. The first reason is they're super restrictive. You join a new diet or a cleanse and it tells you everything you can't have, and you're left feeling like, what can I eat? This is terrible. I don't want to eat celery all day. And the second thing they do is they don't actually engage you. Most diets don't engage you. They don't make you curious. They don't teach you how to be in tune or in dialogue with your body. And they don't actually incite the sense of intuition, which I think is the golden ticket to understanding how to make the right decisions. And the third thing that diets typically do that make them super unsuccessful is that they don't teach you. They don't teach you the physiology and the function of food. They don't teach you what your breakfast is doing in terms of sharpening your mental acuity and improving your energy and your possible weight loss gains or weight gains, if that's what you want to do. And so for those reasons, I think diets, they suck. And I hope you don't go on one in the traditional sense. But stay with me, because as you just heard in Greek and Latin terms, it really means way of living, way of life. And that's the way I approach it. And so if you look at your sheet right here, the very first line says current health and then ideal goals. And this concept could apply to financial goals or business goals or anything you have. We set goals, we're excited, we want better skin, we want to fit better in our clothes, we want to feel more confident, we want to lose weight, we want to live longer and healthier, right? I think we all do. And then we say, let's go. And then we don't forget that, the process of health, the pursuit of health, is not a linear process. You don't just start one day and then you crush life and you accomplish everything at step 2 on day 2. Life happens, parties happen, weddings happen, travel happens. All of these things happen, and we have to have a compass. And so today I'm going to give you a compass on how you can create a new normal. There's 3 things you need to do in order to create a new normal, a new lifestyle that won't send you on a roller coaster of emotions, feeling frustrated, confused, and looking on BuzzFeed or wherever for your newest survey of how you can lose weight, whatever it is on BuzzFeed. And so when we talk about diets, some of the common themes I hear when people come to work with me is that if you see on the second graph here, they have this concept of you're either on the bandwagon or you're off the bandwagon. And so they have success after the first day, and then there's a pizza party at work, and they think, oh my God, I have no willpower. What is wrong with me? But then they say, no, it's cool, because day 3, I'm back on it, and it's cool. And then day 4, it's an ice cream social at work, and then a networking event with cocktails and chocolate-covered strawberries. And then you're just like, what do I do with this little compass of celery and this little box of brown rice and grilled chicken and broccoli, and it's boring and I hate it and I want to eat food. And that's how people feel. And I don't like that. So here's what we need to do. When we create a new normal, we have to come at it with a different compass. And so when people have that ice cream social or that beer or whatever it is that they don't think is in line with their diet, they think they cheat. And they say, I had a cheat meal. And that cheat meal phrase makes me cringe, because we need to celebrate food. Does cheat have a good connotation? It incites guilt and shame. What does that incite? More emotional eating and not really loving yourself with the right foods and the right habits, right? We don't cheat. And then they say weight loss or bust, but then they come back and say, this is exhausting, it's day 7. I still haven't lost the weight, I don't like my clothes, I'm bored with celery and brown rice, what do I do? And they feel like a failure because they've fallen on the bandwagon and off the bandwagon and on and off. And they're like, to heck with it, right? And this is a common experience. I know this because I've worked with hundreds of people, and this is what they tell me. And so this is what I'm going to tell you. Your compass moving forward to create a new normal are these 3 things. If you turn over your sheet, you'll find where I'm going to guide you here. Number 1, you need to find upgrades. And I'll explain this. Number 2, you need to be engaged in the process. And number 3, you have to shift your perspective or be willing to have your perspective shift over time. And so when we're on this process, and through the lens that I look at health and nutrition, which is sustainable, which is long living, which is we're not yo-yo dieting here. You have a good day, and you can see that, look at this graph. It's also not linear. There are ups and downs, right? You can see that. You have some days where you make some great choices, and the other days where you just don't feel so good. So it's also not a linear process. It is a process of ups and downs. It's how we respond to those ups and downs is what makes something sustainable and enjoyable. So if you find upgrades and you think, okay, I went to the party, but now I learned that I didn't fail because I ate something at the party. I just collected data, because that's what failure is to me. It's all you do is you collect data. Every time you make a step to the left or to the right, there's no bandwagon, people. There's no bandwagon. You're never off the path. It's kind of Zen, kind of Buddhist, but it's the facts. You're never off the path. If you make a decision to the right or to the left, all you're doing is gathering information. Now you know, pizza party at work, I'm going to bring snacks. I'm going to come prepared. So if you look at it through that lens, it makes life a lot easier to plan ahead. And then you realize when you jump back on it that you never really left. And if you go to your grandma's house and you have a slice of cake or a slice of pie, because that's nostalgia, that's family, that's comfort, that's love, that's okay too. That's called celebrating food. And that brings a lot more joy and community, and that's what we're all here to do. And finally, we talk about curiosity. The sense of maybe my symptoms aren't 100% healed, but I'm staying with it because I'm listening to my body and the signs and the symptoms that are coming up, and I'm in dialogue with my body. I'm curious about what cravings mean, right? Because cravings are messages. They're not, symptoms of you being flawed or wrong. And so you're in this lens now of thinking, I can upgrade my food. There's ways to upgrade pizzas. There's ways to upgrade snacks and find great alternatives to your childhood favorites. There's ways to be engaged. And in fact, to be engaged is the number 1 thing that most people, I think everyone needs to do in order to create a new normal. You have to be in the driver's seat. You can't be a passenger, or else you're just going to follow a meal plan and you're going to hate it and you're not going to really check into your own intuition. And finally, we have this concept of this creating a new normal leads to this sense of freedom, of flexibility, and you actually begin to, your culinary lens opens, you begin to have more options, and you begin to really enjoy the experience a lot more. And so in that sense, dieting to me is a way of life, and you can reframe the word diet to mean what you want, but to me it means create a new normal and love your food every step of the process.